Yes.
Um, what were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
Very funny.
Thank you.
Okay. So, are you going to answer my question?
I did. Pashera. Was there anything else?
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why'd you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
Okay, what was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
What's an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antam, the body of the Qunari.
So he's like your king?
Qunari have no kings.
What do you... what do you have then?
Little patience for endless questions.
So, did you find the answer to his question?
A portion of it.
What was the answer?
Were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Well, don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
When are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Oh, why not? You can stay with us.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
What was that about children?
What were they doing? It did not look like it served any purpose.
They were playing?
That word means nothing to me.
Huh. This must have been when he commented in, when we were in Dinnerum. He made some kind of comment just out of the blue about small things. I don't really remember, but it was just weird. Anyway, so what do Qunari children do if they don't play?
They study.
They must play sometimes.
Why?
Well, good question.
Your priests clearly should have spent more time training you.
Parents teach children to be adults, not priests.
Parents. Are you speaking nonsense on purpose? If you insist on speaking, use real words.
Okay, so you must know what... Okay, what do Qunari call people with children?
Tamasrans. But the Emekari are not theirs. They belong to the Qunari, not the priesthood.
Oh. Parents... Okay, so they're raised by priests, but they belong to everyone?
Yes. Can we move on?
I have another question.
Very well.
Why don't Qunari raise their own children?
It obviously didn't work for you.
Cute.
I liked it. You are a Grey Warden, yet you know little of your own order. You do not know yourself or what you are for. It was cruel of your people to leave you this way. The Tamasrans see that all Qunari know themselves.
Why would my people decide who I am?
Because you cannot decide who they are.
Sten, that argument makes no sense.
You cannot make the world suit you. You must suit the world.
Well, no one can tell me who I am. I have to decide that myself.
Decide then. Why do you hesitate? It is your task to fight the Archdemon, isn't it?
Well, we aren't finished with our preparations yet.
If you fail, preparation beforehand will have been pointless, and if you succeed, it will be by sheer chance anyway.
Well, sheer chance? Thanks.
You're welcome. I weary of this. Can we move on?
No, I had another question.
Very well.
Why do you let the Tamasrans control your life?
What makes it mine? It was theirs to begin with.
Well, what does that mean?
They knew me before I was born. I was birthed on the day they chose, placed in the world by their hands. When I die, it will be the Tamasrans who note my passing. I am their work. What I do is for my people, always.
So, you never do anything just for yourself?
That would be a waste. A life is so much greater than a single man. There is little point in pursuing this. We should move on.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Whoa, look at all that. He approved 44. Holy crap. Sten probably likes me better than anybody in camp right now. Let's look. That's a big deal. He does! Oh my gosh. We're gonna talk some more because we have to try to get his can I not talk? Oh, I have to talk to his head.
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
Why did I let you out of that cage again?
I have wondered that myself. It is one of the many things I find puzzling about your behavior.
Well, do I even want to know what the other things are?
No, let's leave this discussion polite.
Okay. So, will you tell me now why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
So, exactly what happened?
I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
Ah. Sounds like what happened to me at Ostagar. What happened to the other Qunari?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
You probably dropped it on the battlefield.
Perhaps. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did they know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
And then?
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
You could get another sword, Sten. It was just an object.
Do your people have no souls as we know them? Convenient for you. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Ah. Wow. Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Well, where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Don't worry, Sten. We'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
All right. Now we have the quest to find Sten's sword, so that's cool.
Are you sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings, perhaps? A cheese knife?
What's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
So, why'd you leave?
One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
Ah. So, did you steal them?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Well, better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
Well, that was a fascinating story, and now here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Well, you didn't mention your son in this tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here, I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Huh. That was generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Well, let's see. Where do these goods come from? Not in the deep roads?
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
So, what do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
I suppose it's better than having the Darkspawn take it all.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
All right. Have you heard any rumors?
The Darkspawn have attacked Lothering. I don't think everyone even had fled by the time they came, either. Word has it they swarmed the entire area, making off with prisoners and burning down the buildings, and then they were gone. Just as quick. I wonder if there's anyone left. I heard some chanters were going to head down south, maybe to try to find some survivors. I'm not holding out hope myself. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
All right, let me see your wares, Bodon.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Okay, so I did some trading with Bodon, and my armor was gone. I guess I used to think that if you gave him something, you could buy it back later, but I don't know, maybe I did it too soon. He also had another backpack slot, though, so that was cool. So now we have 120 spots. But anyway, let's see what we're going to get into next. Maybe we can talk to Alistair.
Something on your mind?
Has anyone ever told you how handsome you are?
Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome?
Well, my lips are sealed.
Oh, I get it. I'll get it out of you yet. So, is this the part where I get to say the same?
Well, that would be nice.
Oh, well, I'll think about it then. Sometime soon, I'm sure.
One more time, Alistair.
At your service.
So, I have some questions.
Of course.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So, Templars use magic themselves?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
Wow. So, have you hunted any mini-mages?
No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. The ritual that they test the mages with. It's not unlike our joining, really. And just as deadly. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that.
Seems like the Templars could run the Chantry.
You'd think that. But it's not so. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
So you were addicted to this lyrium? No. He was never a full-fledged Templar. But that is horrible. I can't believe they would do that.
Well, they do it, and they feel perfectly justified. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective, or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away, either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
We're not done, Alistair.
At your service.
So I have some questions.
Of course.
Let's see. So, you said you were raised by the Chantry?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Well, that would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
So, I thought the Chantry would have beat that out of you.
Oh, there you go, listening to me again. You'd think you'd have gotten past that already. I ended up in the Chantry, sure, but I didn't start there. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Our Lehman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why'd he send you off?
Arleman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Well, what an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised my dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Codex updated. Alistair. You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. So, I need to read these. These character codex entries, they evolve throughout the story as you learn more about your companion. So, I never read the beginning of Alistair's, so we don't know what it was because I suck. But anyway, Alistair was a novice Templar when Duncan recruited him into the Grey Wardens, or rescued him, as Alistair would say. His mother was a young serving girl who died when Alistair was very young. He was raised by Eamon Gwyrin, I think is how it's pronounced, Arl of Redcliffe, for a time. The Arl's wife, Isolde, suspected the reason her husband took an interest in the welfare of a servant's child was that Alistair was Eamon's son. She insisted that the boy be sent away to the Chantry. Alistair is fascinated by magic, even as his life is defined by fighting its darker manifestations. He has a fondness for strange runestones and figural studies of arcane creatures. So that's a good hint of what kind of gift to give him. Let's see. Where are the rest of our... Liliana. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace, and in that stillness I could hear the Maker. A lay sister of the Chantry who can beat the stuffing out of trained mercenaries would be notable enough, but one who also claims to have been sent to fight the Darkspawn by the Maker himself is unusual, to say the least. She joined Alistair and Eva in Lothering, insisting that she would prove useful. Liliana takes care to honor the Lothering cloister that took her in and keep symbols of Andraste's blessing close to her heart. Okay, so we got 2 out of the way. Anyway, I'm gonna... Wait, one more thing.
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
Aw. Hurt his feelings. Good, he'll fell our enemies with his stench.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Bathe? Can't you just wave your staff and make him clean?
No, that's not what magic is used for.
But if you can...
Just make him sleep over on the other side of the camp. With Alistair. With any luck, that will keep all the stench confined to one small area.
Okay. That's gonna be it for now. I'll probably have to cut this up into 2 episodes because it's an hour long. So anyway, thanks for watching, and next time we'll either go to Redcliffe or we will work on the one of the DLCs. So Anyway, see you next time, and thanks for watching.